want to make this video as a letter to my younger self, as something that hopefully can help you out, because I think XXX Tentacion said something about, oh, when you say the things that you think only relate to you, you start to realize that that's what catches on the most. Something wrong. He didn't say this verbatim, but he basically said when you share your innermost struggles and things that you feel like are very specific to you, a lot of people catch on because a lot of people are in that same situation. They are afraid to express that they go through this same thing. And that's what catches on, because then you start to realize so many people are feeling what you're feeling. Case in point, I wish I could tell my younger self, stop having these delusions of grandeur. I promise y'all, I'm not schizophrenic or nothing like that, but it's an issue with productivity and like getting places in your life. Because check this out. If you're anything like me, you know what I'm saying? You was a young kid. Everybody used to, have fun. You might have used to write poems or draw, or it's usually us creative types. You know what I'm saying? It's usually us brainy motherfuckers. People that use our minds to get around. You know what I'm saying? You were told you were a good writer, good drawer, you had a good eye or something, a good artist. Things like it's us artists. So you young artists watching this can probably relate to this. You probably was told a lot, or early on whenever you had an artistic endeavor, that you were really good and shit. And then, that initial motivation that you had to keep doing that and get better at it, the flame starts to go out. Now, ideally, that's what discipline is for. Discipline is really what has me in front of this camera right now. Discipline said, hey, I know I'm not so hyped about the YouTube channel thing now, like now it's in full swing, but you know what? I owe it to my subscribers to be consistent with content, and I still am really grateful for this platform that I have where I can share my innermost thoughts and I can like make it some sort of vessel that can help people while, expelling these feelings and getting these feelings out in the open, having a lot of people to talk to. Because that's what it's like. We're just having a big old safe space friend group talk. You know what I'm saying? But I digress. When that initial motivation dies out, then, you kind of succumb to that. You don't really do a lot. You don't really get so productive. But the flip side of this is, that early praise and shit, it gets to you. And it makes you think that, oh man, I'm so great, I'm so talented. And you start to occupy yourself with like fantasies of, I know y'all do this. You start to occupy yourself with fantasies like, oh man, I'm gonna be so big and rich and famous. I'm gonna have all this money. I'm gonna have all these hoes, all this big ass house. And you use that little part of like initial praise as fuel to fuel this idea that you're gonna have all these glitzy and glamoury things in your life. But what you don't do is the work that's required to get these glitzy and glamoury things. And I'm not talking, there's a lot of people, a lot of great people. You might be watching this, you grinding every motherfucking day. You grinding to get that paper, like you on the grind. I salute you. I'm making this for the niggas that was like me when I was younger, who, you did a fair amount of work, but you spent a lot of time just walking around thinking to yourself about how great you were. And the problem, it's kind of like a double-edged sword, that the mind believes what you tell it. So you end up, which is a good thing, believing that you're great is a good thing. But you tell yourself that so much and you just repeat it so much that your subconscious has taken it on. But the thing about the subconscious, you just have to say things to be like, oh, okay, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. It's like how a lot of people are very insecure. A lot of very beautiful people think that they're ugly. The whole outside world could have told you that the opposite, that you're beautiful. But you still tell yourself that you're ugly, so your subconscious is still your voice is the only one that's with you 24/7. So that's the one you believe. And how this relates is that you see how the perception differs from the self-perception, or is the complete opposite rather. That's what I'm talking about. In the delusion of grandeur situation, your self-perception is so inflated and you're so great and you're genius and you're amazing and you're fantastic. Everybody, Give this motherfucker a round of applause. But the outside world is the opposite. You have nothing to show for it. Nothing to show for it. You're such a great fucking artistic, brilliant person, right? I know you're watching this. You're destined for great. You see yourself on that Grammy stage, but you haven't dropped a song in how long? I'm talking to myself, by the way. You haven't dropped a song in how long? You know what I'm saying? You're so smart and all your words are so great. Okay, well, who's asking you to do a lecture? You've written what book? You're such a visionary, but you know, what have you directed? And I guess with this whole like manifestation craze, a lot of people just do this to like get themselves in that position. But one thing about manifestation, nigga, if you don't try and put in some type of work, or not put in that work, but if you don't try and take some type of action toward what you want, it's not gonna happen. You can't just sit on your ass and expect things to happen to you. You can't just sit on your ass, call yourself a genius, and expect that everything you do will have the Midas touch. That's simply not true. You have to put the work in, bro. You have to bring yourself back down to reality. You have to be hitting that paint, and then you realize, man, because at the end of the day, the fact that you have nothing to show for this supposed greatness, it's gonna catch up to you. It's gonna catch up to you. It might periodically catch up to you. You might be going through depression because you realize this, and then you start to convince yourself like, nah, man, I'm doing this. Nigga, all I'm saying is find something that where you could work consistently at it and be passionate about it. Find your passion life. I said this in the first video I ever made on this channel. Well, the first video I ever made on this channel was interesting. In the first like substantive video I ever made on this channel, I told y'all, man, find something you could be passionate about. Find something that you could fall in love with. And most importantly, find something you could be disciplined by. Because I'm talking to people that was like me. You know, you could be motivated to do a shit ton of everything. Nigga like me, I'm motivated to be a philosopher one day. I'm motivated to be a filmmaker the next day. But this is all just impulsive shit. What you need to do is find something where you can be motivated to do it, and you can sit at the computer for hours and edit, and you can sit on Microsoft Word all day and sift through the proofreading of your script, and you could sit on FL Studio all day and mix your tracks, and you could spend all day making a beat. You want to find something that you can be disciplined to do, and something that you feel called to do without even if you don't feel like doing it. I did not feel like getting up in front of this camera. And I've filmed so far a YouTube short, and this is the second full-length video I filmed. Why? Because I feel like I love creating this type of content enough that I want to give y'all this content, and I don't want to I want to hold that promise to myself. I don't want to fall victim to delusions of grandeur anymore. I don't want to keep on trying to convince myself of this purported greatness without putting the work in. I am actively trying to build an arsenal of, I guess you could say, proof, or like I'm just trying to have enough documentation of who I am as a person. And instead of like walking around, because at the end of the day, you being so great and so amazing, it's all cool. But if you're not documenting it and putting it down and making great work and having these little pieces of yourself that you could spread to people and help people with, because that's another thing I realized that made me more productive. It's not about making yourself look good. It's about what you can do to help the world. And I feel like when you look at it from that perspective, those delusions of grandeur start to calm down. Because it's like, what's the point of making such a great fucking song if no one hears it and doesn't inspire them? What's the point of being so smart and having all these amazing theories, but you're not applying them? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, as a letter to my younger self, I want you to find something to be disciplined in. I want you to find something to be passionate about. And I want you to keep working at it, chipping away at it every single day. I want you to not be able to stay away from it. I want you to keep on going and keep on turning out these little pieces of yourself that you can use as reflections of your greatness, rather than just bouncing between the walls of your mind, saying that you're so great back and forth back. No. You could suck your own dick all day. I think what's way more important is creating these little pieces of content and shipping them out and telling your story through the fruit of your labor. So stop trying to serve yourself all the time. There's no point if you're not helping people through what makes you so great. If you're not using these natural gifts to make the world a better place, then what's the point, my nigga? The world's gonna forget you anyway. The world's gonna forget all of us. You might as well try and have some impact while you can. Because at the end of the day, who's really here to just suck everyone else's dick? I can't believe that's the ending line for the video, but I'm feeling that one. So yeah, younger self and all the people like me, stop running around telling yourself how great you are and put your face in that laptop, put your face in that book, put the pen to the motherfucking paper and just go. Just fucking go and stop thinking about it. Because that's another thing. I didn't know this video would go on this long, but that's another thing. When you tell yourself you're so great and then you turn out something that's not to this level of like genius greatness that you purport yourself to be at, then you get sad and mad and depressed because you didn't do something that you thought would be at your level. Nigga, if you was just working and going without even thinking about how good it make you look, then you probably be making great shit anyway. So instead of thinking about making great work, just start making work. Just start working. Some of it might be bad, some of it might be good. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's work and some of it's bound to be great. And let me tell you, actually having an arsenal of great work is way better than sitting and fantasizing about it and then going to create it and then it doesn't come through. One is way more fruitful and useful to the world than the other. Make the right choice.